We begin tonight following up on that tragic accident out in Port Aransas Friday night that claimed the life of 21-year-old Haley Renee Johnson. This crash happened along State Highway 361. Johnson was the driver of a Volkswagen that was hit head-on by a pickup. The driver of that vehicle, a 53-year-old man who has not been named by police, was taken to the hospital. Our Bill Churchwell has been following this story for us tonight. And Bill, you briefly spoke with Haley's grandfather today.
Yeah, Leslie, the grandfather says, as you can imagine, they're all still in shock right now. They spent today at a funeral home and the family is at a loss trying to understand why they're having to bury a granddaughter. Now tonight, we have learned in the last decade there have been over 900 crashes along State Highway 361. 15 of those resulted in deaths. The majority of the deadly accidents involving alcohol, among other factors.
When we look at fatal crashes in the state of Texas, those are the common top three reasons: speeding, intoxicated driving, and distracted driving.
And while DPS says they are not planning any sort of specific long-term operations along Highway 361, law enforcement does look at several areas in and outside of Nueces County. And when they see high numbers of fatal crashes, intoxicated drivers, or speeders, troopers will increase patrols in those areas. Take a look at the overall picture of those 915 crashes along Highway 361 between Padre Island and Port Aransas. 100 involved alcohol, 251 were the result of distracted driving, and 291 involved speeding. Bottom line,
your full undivided attention needs to be on the task of driving. So, put those cell phones down, observe that speed limit, and best thing we can all do, whether we're a driver or passenger, is always wear our seatbelts. A lot of places.
TxDOT tells us they are still developing long-term plans to widen Highway 361 from 2 to 4 lanes. In the meantime, they've added some short-term safety upgrades like extra lighting and striping. The victim's grandfather telling me tonight that they haven't heard anything from Port A police on the status of the man who struck Haley. The last we heard from the police chief over the weekend, he said that the investigation is ongoing and that criminal charges are expected against the driver. What kind of charges is still unknown tonight. Now, 3 News reached back out to Port Aransas police today to get an update on the status of that driver, but the department has not yet responded. Back to you.